Greg, does it matter what steel I choose? I mean, really, come on. Aren't they all the same? Does it really even matter? It's really important. The lighter and thinner and more invisible the knife is on your carry, the more important it is. The bigger, more ruddy, chunky the design is, the less important it is. What's the deal with this S45VN? That's all I want to know. Like, I know S35VN, then there was S30, and then what's S45VN? Like, connect the dots for me, Greg. So for guys like me who started getting mad about our premium American steels being sold in China for Chinese makers to start making premium knives with, I was like, look, let's do something just for America, and they came up with S45. And that wasn't just me, it was a whole bunch of pressure in the industry.
Can we just cut out with all the malarkey? Can you just tell me, what's the best steel for me, Greg? That's all I want to know.
So it's just like if someone says to you, what's the best tire for my car? What's the best car for my, what's the best car out there? You'd say, well, do you commute to work every day? Do you do long traveling? Do you like to go up in the mountains? Because one's a Jeep, the other one's a Caddy, and the other one's a Porsche 911.
Greg, this guy in Skill Set, he just told me I should have my next knife made out of unobtainium. Do you think you can do that? I mean, I need my knife made out of unobtainium, or I'm not going to get it. I'm going to go find me a maker who can make it out of unobtainium. Can you do that, Greg?
It's important that you don't take some person who wrote a magazine article's advice, because they're not metallurgists either, and they may or may not be right or wrong. But what they are definitely is they are in partnership with whatever thing it is that you're reading and the advertisers.
All right, so I've listened to everything you said, Greg, and my head's about to explode now. So, do you have a possibly suggestion where I might find a bit more about this? I'm totally beside myself. Where can I read a bit more so I don't sound like a complete imbecile about steel?
So if you really want to know about any of these metals, you can Google S35VN or CPM S35VN data or spec sheet. And you'll find them around there. You should Google any steel you like. You can Google the data sheet for or the spec sheet for, and you can kind of look at the recipe of it. And that's where you can get your nerd on, Get your Urkel on, pull your pants way up high, push your glasses up, put some tape around the middle, and geek out on it. It's totally cool, like a Star Wars fan.
Could you tell me, how hard do you make your knives? What's the Rockwell C-scale hardness of your knives, Greg? I'd like to know.
I can break it down for you like this. All steel, all metal that we make knives out of here in North America and most places on Earth, with the exception of a very few odd materials, we're trying to get to around 58 to 61 Rockwell C-scale. The reason why we're doing that is it holds an edge pretty well, and somebody can kind of put the edge back on at their house or out in the field. That's why we use that hardness. Can we harden harder than that? Yes. It starts to be too hard to sharpen for most people.
Greg, this is a bit much. I mean, how am I supposed to choose? Who uses the best steel, Greg? You tell me. Who uses it?
As you sit back as a consumer, my advice to you is, don't give yourself indigestion over steel choice. All the American knife makers, whether it's myself or whether it's Benchmade or it's Spyderco or Kershaw, everybody's picking the best metals, the newest things that have the most market appeal and are the most consistently high quality, okay?
Well, it sounds like what I want doesn't even matter. Like, why should I even listen to all this if I don't get to choose and you're just going to do it all for me? Like, what's the point, Greg?
It's nice to know about. Like, I like knowing about a Porsche, but I don't want to dive into it and work on it. And I would never tell somebody what kind of brakes should be on a Porsche if you're making a Porsche. Oh no, I think it should be a ceramic coated domes on your pistons, not this, or not Teflon. Man, let those experts, that's what they do. But boy, I tell you, I like driving a Porsche.